Hey guys, it's B Scott here. Welcome to another episode of Ride Along. I'm your B-Man.
What up, guys?
This week we're going to talk about Raw and also the King and Queen tournament.
Which is happening at Night of Champions.
Yes. Which is in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this past Monday, Goldberg returned.
Yeah, and apparently his final match is going to be at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta on July 12th.
Why? Against Gunther. Funny enough joke, in 2025, a Jew versus an Austrian.
Yeah, I saw that.
I seen that meme. I started laughing.
I saw that. That's funny.
Why Goldberg though? Come on, like we've seen this man wrestle enough. Like he
wants his retirement match.
I thought he already had that.
No, he didn't. He
literally was limping out to the ring.
Yep.
Why?
No, it's not gonna be pretty. But Gunther's gonna probably get the best possible match out of them that we could hope for.
Gunther better retain.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Better not be like here at the Survivor Series.
Yeah, but that wasn't a title match.
That's true. Like Goldberg of all people, we don't need to see that anymore.
No, I agree. He should have. Well, apparently, like, so this is like a few years ago. Yeah. He came back for Vince, but only because Vince promised him a retirement match. So. Okay,
and Vince is gone. So.
Yeah, well, I guess Triple H wants to honor that deal or something. I don't know.
Fair enough. So, what's your opinion on it?
It's a Saturday night event. That stuff's really not all that important. It's just like a glorified house show.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're not doing it in Saudi Arabia because that seems to be Goldberg's home away from home. But I guess it's in his actual hometown, so I guess that makes sense. But no, it's home away from home, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the world title match.
But yeah, so what else happened on Raw?
Let's see. Well, we had the final King of the Ring qualifiers. Asuka came back.
Yeah.
She advanced to the semifinals.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sneeze. 1 second to pause the video. Get a sneeze. Sorry, that guys.
Longest sneeze ever, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't help it. It's fucking allergies.
I was literally like, bless, and me start sneezing again.
Yeah.
And then I rolled down the window. I'm like, are you done?
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
I thought he was going to sneeze again. And then I said, you. Well, anyways, yeah, so back to it. So Asuka's back.
Asuka's back. She qualified. She made the semifinals. So it's going to be, this. I guess it's happening on Smack. I don't know. I think it's two. I think 2 of the matches happen on SmackDown. 2 of them happen on Raw. We got King and Queen of the Ring semifinals. We got Asuka versus Alexa Bliss on one side. You got Roxanne Perez versus Jade Cargill for the Queen of the Ring, and now for the King of the Ring, you got. Now this is strange to me. They have both matches are essentially babyface versus babyface because you got Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And you got Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That'll be a good match.
Yeah. So
is that match tonight on SmackDown?
I think it's on Raw. I'm not sure.
Okay. That'll be a good match.
Sami versus Randy is definitely on SmackDown tonight.
Yeah. Cody versus Jay will be very interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no real heat to it because it doesn't really matter who wins because the fans like both guys.
It doesn't need to be. What I'm saying is it's going to be a great match. Even if it's 2 faces, it's going to be a great match.
Well, think about we'll get to that later.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, as I mentioned, Jay obviously he won his fatal 4-way match. So yeah, because I thought like it could have been literally anybody else, but we go Jey Uso. Like I like Jay, don't get me wrong. It's just a little bit much, I think, because the guy just got off of winning the world title, and now he's back and he's in the semifinals of the King of the Ring. Might be going to the finals. Who knows? But you get guys like Karrion Kross who haven't even been so much as featured on TV much at all. They're just lingering around, not really doing anything. He's kind of got to stop and start. Whoa. I guess the highway, but Jesus Christ. There's another one.
Always when we go to Durham, something fucked up happens.
The third one.
Because we're in Durham. I just want to say that. 2 weeks ago, cop turns in front of me, and now this.
Yeah, well, at least it's not cops this time.
Yet.
Keyword there. What was I going to say? So you got guys like Karrion Kross who haven't even so much... They got the kind of on and off again thing with Sami Zayn. I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. Sami's going to probably not going to turn heel, but it's just like it's so confusing to me. Triple H brings these guys back, and then he still doesn't do anything with them. Most of the time. It's the same thing with Braun Strowman, right? Brought Braun back, didn't really do much with him, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
Carlito, who's the other guy? All right, well, now R-Truth is bad. Now that's going to be kind of interesting to see what they do with R-Truth. You see, I think was it last week or this week he cut his hair.
It was last when week. He came back on Raw, yeah.
It was last week,
because he's now known as Ron Killings.
Yeah, he cut his hair. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's see if anything else happened on Raw. Well, okay, this is interesting because I have ad-free Netflix, and what it does is it shows you during the commercial breaks. It shows you like it keeps broadcasting.
Yeah.
There's this one part where New Day cuts a promo, and they're talking about they're going to defend their tag titles, but it's not. They didn't say when,
yeah,
and they didn't say against who, because every team they talked about, they said, oh, they're not worthy of a title shot. So who gets the title shot? We're supposed to be defending your belts. Who's getting the shot? So A-Town Down Under, not worthy. War Raiders, not worthy. Judgment Day, not worthy. LWO, not worthy. So who the fuck's getting the title shot? It's weird, but anyway. So I guess we're getting a tag title match down the line. Who knows? Maybe it's Saudi. Who knows? I don't think there's anything else.
Fuck, I can't get over. Damn it.
Well, I guess we're getting off at Salem.
Or I can go straight, go back on the highway. Actually, no, I can't. Fuck. What's this myself? Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
But I don't think there's much else to talk about on Raw. Unless, I think he. No, I don't know.
No, you can't go straight. At least I don't think you can.
I think that's all I wanted to talk about for Raw. So I guess we'll talk about Night of Champions.
Sure.
Oh, you could have actually if you. Oh no, you said left turn only. Okay,
right
so.
Turn only, you mean?
Yeah, and the other. I was gonna say the other lane, but that's left turn only.
Let's just do the south. We've been down here. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
So let's see. So Night of Champions. So far we've got. So let's talk about who do you think is going to be in the finals of the King and Queen of the Ring. So the semifinal matches are, as I mentioned earlier, Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez, and Asuka versus Alexa for Queen of the Ring. Who do you think is going to move on to the finals?
Roxanne Perez and maybe Asuka. I'd like to see.
That's interesting, but that's two Raw superstars. So that's what's so weird about this. They got the setup so where it's two in the semifinals. They got two from Raw and two from SmackDown. So I don't think they're gonna do Raw versus Raw or SmackDown versus SmackDown. So it kind of, maybe they will, but I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because why rather have one brand represented? Like fully in just in the main match. Why not have SmackDown versus Raw? So
that's true.
If I'm gonna say it's gonna be in the finals, it's either gonna be I'm gonna predict it's gonna be Jade Cargill versus Asuka in the finals. That's a fucking match. That's a good match to have.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see Liv? Actually, yeah, I forgot about this.
Liv
Sorry.
Morgan got injured.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
Like. Literally nothing really happened. She just took a bump. She tried to protect herself, and she dislocated her shoulder. And she's gonna be out for 6 months.
Shit happens.
I know, that's crazy, and that's twice that's happened too with Kairi Sane. Because remember, Zoe Stark got injured by trying to do a Mr. Dropkick.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really unlucky. What's that?
Maybe that's another move they need to ban.
Mr. Dropkick?
If so many people are getting hurt by it.
Well, I think it was a freak accident though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It sucks to be Kairi Sane when you think about it. Two of your opponents, like, and almost not back-to-back weeks, but like within the same month, I think, to get injured in the match against you. Like, when people are starting to talk, like maybe Kairi's a little unsafe. Like, no, she didn't really do anything. She just, she was trying to wrestle. She's trying to do a move, and then it's not like she was intentionally trying to hurt anybody. Like, it's an accident. Shit happens. It's not like what Nia Jax was doing. I'm sorry, like, yeah, she's improved, but I mean, still.
Boxymania.
Yeah, really. But yeah, that was unfortunate for Liv, out for 6 months, so I don't know what they're going to do with the tag titles. Well, that really matters. I mean, let's be real here, but anyway, back to, so I think it's going to be Jade versus Asuka in the Queen of the Ring finals, and for the King of the Ring, I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn.
In the King finals?
Yeah.
I could see Randy Orton, possibly, and possibly also Cody Rhodes.
Well, then you got SmackDown versus SmackDown for that one, too.
You never know.
I know, but I mean, like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But anyway, well, I guess we'll find out.
But if you watched the promo last week, it does. Because he said, Cody, if I need to, I will go through you. So they were setting up a little bit of a possible rivalry there.
True, but it is in Saudi Arabia, and Sami Zayn's like really huge over there, so I don't think they're going to miss out on an opportunity to have him compete.
That's true.
Even though, let's be kind of really, and you know what, we'll get to that when we get to it. Well, so I know the WWE titles. Is there any other matches going? I think there was another match added to.
We already talked about Goldberg.
Yeah, I'm talking about Night of Champions. There's another match added. Shit, what was it?
Was it a men's match? Was it a women's match?
I want to say it's a women's match. I think you know what, I'm gonna look this up. Sorry guys, I know there's another match added to the card. I just can't remember for the life of me what it is.
The Jeopardy song starts playing.
I'd lose for sure.
But until then, enjoy the views, folks.
In high definition.
That man's got a lot in his pickup truck.
Yeah.
South Whitby. Actually, we did do South Whitby because we went down to that part. I think it was me, you, and someone. Who was it? It was Eli, maybe? We drove down and we saw, like, the castles. That's like the fancy, like, the waterfront and stuff. It was a couple years ago.
Oh, shit. Why did I not think about that? So, Dominic Mysterio's defending the Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles.
Well, we all know who you're picking.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, I would go with AJ Styles, and I want him to win, but I think they're gonna keep the story. They might keep the story going with Finn Balor trying to, like, kind of try to undermine Dominic Mysterio a little bit. Like, he's gonna help him retain, but what?
Finn Balor used to be in a tag team with AJ Styles, right?
Yeah.
So that is absolutely right. Something might happen.
I don't know. They've been teasing that for a while, so they should really get on, like, doing something with that. Don't make it like E-Town Down Under, where they've been teasing them splitting for over a year and still haven't done anything.
But I agree with you. I don't see Dominic dropping the title.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I don't see it either, because Saudi Arabia is usually, you don't usually see many title changes there.
I like Dominic, though, so I don't want him to lose.
Yeah, I like Dom, too. You know, that's why I'm saying, like, it's tough for me, but I think overall, I think Dom's going to retain. I'd like to see AJ Styles get a run with it, but I think Dom's going to retain that.
What are they even doing with AJ Styles anymore? Like, you barely see him.
Well, I mean, you have to be watching Raw, because he was just in a match.
Why don't they put him in the King of the Ring?
Because he's chasing after the Intercontinental title.
What's more important? A mid-card title or the fucking King of the Ring?
Well, I mean, I guess King of the Ring would be... I guess now it's King of the Ring because you get a guaranteed title shot at SummerSlam.
And he's supposed to be like the phenomenal one.
But not everybody can be in the main event, though.
That's true, but I thought that AJ Styles... The house that AJ Styles built, right?
That was SmackDown.
Right.
But, see, here's my philosophy about that. It's a philosophy that's shared by Triple H and Shawn Michaels, because they've talked about this. The title isn't supposed to make the guy. The guy is supposed to make the title. So, if you have somebody like an AJ Styles, who's been a former main eventer, has been a former world champion, you show him having interest in a mid-card title, it elevates the prestige of that title. Because it tells the viewer, hey, this is important because this guy, who I've seen be a former world champion, now he wants a shot at this title instead. So, maybe the title's more important than I think it is. Maybe now they'll be more interested in seeing an Intercontinental title match if a guy like AJ Styles is chasing it, not like a guy like fucking, I don't know, What's a good example of a mid card guy? Like a guy like.
Penta. No, I mean Penta's okay.
Penta, man. Well, Penta's all right, but he's still kind of relatively new.
John Gable.
Well, okay. Well, let's say if Andrade came over and suddenly decided to want a shot at the Intercontinental title, like you wouldn't be all that interested in it as compared to a guy like AJ Styles. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's a good thing. Like they're still giving him something to do. It's better than nothing. In the last couple of weeks, he's beaten guys like Chad Gable, and he's beaten what was his name? JD McDonough.
Yeah.
And that's crazy too. The last couple of times, because it was just like the last couple of matches he had, it was over so quick because like he'd be doing something, and then his opponent would like cut him off, and then all of a sudden, like quick as a fucking lightning bolt, he'd hit him with a Styles Clash and it'd be over.
Yeah. So here's my opinion on what you said. So Triple H and Shawn Michaels agreed, but they're also contradicting themselves because at the end of the day, it's like the booking that makes the title. Because you can have any famous superstar have that title, but if they're not booked right, it's not going to mean anything.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you.
So at the end of the day, it's really the booking. And I was like, we've seen that like with that title before. I think it was with The Miz. Like that is a prestigious title. Like back in the day, Patterson made that title relevant. Santino Marella with the honky tonky meter, like whatever.
The honky tonky man.
That made it relevant. It's really about the booking, and that's really up to Shawn Michaels and those guys. So,
well, it'll be more to Triple H in this instance because
so he's kind
booking
of contradicting himself. Because like if AJ Styles wins and they book him right, sure, but like if AJ Styles wins and okay, he's not on a pay-per-view for 6 months.
Okay, and I totally agree with you there too.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. It's part of it is the booking, absolutely, yes. But part of it is also who holds the title or who's chasing the title.
And they have to be booked properly. Yes.
Exactly.
So yes. So that's what I mean. But if AJ Styles was king of the ring, that would mean a lot more.
In a sense, yeah,
unless
but it depends on what they choose.
Stupid, like with Corbin and had him wear the fucking king robe and all that, but
no, I don't think they do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because like Gunther had it last year and he didn't even win. He held it for like a week or two and then he just got rid of it entirely.
Because the whole king gimmick has been done so many times. Booker, Lawler,
Booker was one of the great ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Booker, Lawler, Sheamus, Regal.
Well, you know what's
Corbin.
funny is Jerry Lawler never actually won King of the Ring. He was just because he was known as the King of Memphis. Yeah, but Jerry Lawler was known as the King of Memphis, and that's where his whole gimmick came from.
Yeah.
Jerry the King Lawler.
So the King gimmick has really been done. So there's not really much more you can do. You know, like you can do the whole thing. I think it was with Sheamus or whoever, and then they had like the royal family or the Knights of the Round Table. Like it's been done before. I would love to see a good Queen gimmick. Yes, we had basically Charlotte Flair, okay.
Yeah, but she's not queen. She wasn't Queen of the Ring either. She was.
But I'd actually like to see a good Queen gimmick, and then a good.
Oh, they kind of did that a little bit with Queen Zelina.
Yeah.
She kind of made it part of her character.
So let's see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see who wins King and Queen of the Ring this year. What they do with them if they have them, because I remember both Nia and Gunther won their title matches last year. So I think this is. So let's talk about we predicted. I said it was gonna be Sami versus Cody. You say it's gonna be Randy versus Cody.
Yeah.
So going off of that, let's just assume that our picks are correct. Whichever one pick is correct. Who do you think is gonna win that match? So for you, it'd be Randy versus Cody. Who do you think is gonna win that match?
Cody Rhodes.
Cody, yeah. See, I actually agree with you because I know it's Sammy's hometown. That'd be a good way to get him to restart that feud with Gunther and maybe have. Well, I mean, Gunther just won the title back, so I don't think they'd have Sammy beat him. But it'd be a really good match. It'd be really close. Gunther could just eke out a win, and then that starts Sammy's road, because I think the Royal Rumble's in Riyadh next year.
I'd like to see, though, Orton win it. Like, I would want to, but because I think they want him to get that one last title. Because I've been hearing like some rumblings of him possibly getting that title. So maybe that's a way to get the title.
That wouldn't be such a bad thing.
But I don't think he needs to win like the King of the Ring, because we already know how freaking good he is.
That's
I don't really
true.
think he needs it, but I think someone like Cody needs it, and then at the end, like, he can go, I'm dedicating this to the late great Dusty Rhodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See,
and then acts like he'll do his whole, I'm crying, I'm proud. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry, but it's true.
And
It's
I
like him and
know, I get
Charlotte,
you.
Natalia, the crybabies, you know.
Yeah. I want, because here's the thing I want to see with Sammy, because if he wins King of the Ring, he can just barely lose against Gunther, and that could set up his push for next year, because the Royal Rumble, I think, is in Riyadh next year.
Yes.
So it could set up to have him win, challenge again at WrestleMania, and that's where he finally wins the world title against Gunther. Now, I could see that could happen, and because it's in Saudi Arabia, they could have Sammy go over. But I think it is going to be Cody, so they give him that setup for that title shot at SummerSlam against John Cena. I know I said that last time, because Cody did win, and he pinned Cena, so he's got that hanging over him. But if it's going to be the King of the Ring gets a guaranteed title shot, then I'm going with Cody. That way, it could be like guaranteed to get a shot against Cena, get his rematch for SummerSlam. Okay, let's move on. Queen of the Ring. So I said Jade versus Asuka, and if it comes down to it, that's a tough one for me, because Jade could easily win it, but he's still got that whole thing going on with Naomi, so she could cost her the match. But if that doesn't happen, then I'm going to say Jade Cargill. And you said Roxanne versus Asuka. So.
Has Asuka won it before?
No. Well, there's only ever been like 2 Queen of the Ring so far.
I would want Roxanne, but I see Asuka. A Japanese queen? Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's already
doing a whole gimmick,
yeah.
like with the face paint and stuff, like an anime style thing.
Yeah, did you see the face paint she had on Raw? That was crazy.
I could see her
going
all out with that, like a demon queen or something. Like,
that would be very interesting.
Nobody's ready for the queen, Asuka.
She already calls herself the Empress, so just being a queen would be
Empress,
more,
yeah.
apropos.
Japanese, right?
So that's interesting. So we basically. So you pick Asuka, I pick Jade, and if Jade versus Asuka, we're basically differing our picks here, but that's all good. So the only other match left is the WWE title, which is John Cena versus CM Punk. Now, we've had that whole thing with R-Truth going on, which has been pretty interesting. Like to see where that goes. But here's something I wanted to talk about. So people are well, John Cena too, on SmackDown has been calling CM Punk a hypocrite for wanting to go to Saudi Arabia so he could challenge John Cena for the title. And I find that interesting, because he's not the only one who's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, because he wants to support his friend, but Sami Zayn didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia because of the whole, they're talking about the blood money thing, which you're not going to really get into here because, but for the longest time, Sami Zayn didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia because of all the stuff that's going on over there. But now, I forget what exactly happened, but now he suddenly wants to go, and he's going all the time. Like, isn't that a little hypocritical? Maybe it's just me. But I think human beings are hypocrites, let's be real, but it is kind of hypocritical if you think about it. You don't want to go, and then something different happens, and all of a sudden everything's changed. Like, oh yeah, I'll go to Saudi Arabia. Sure, why not? But anyway, what do you think about that? Do you think I'm right
about the Sami Zayn thing?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Because he's very over there. I think something's gonna happen with him there. Yeah.
That's not really what I was talking about. Anyway. So yeah, we got Cena versus Punk. Who do you think's gonna win that match?
Cena versus Punk?
Yeah.
I say Punk, but I see Cena turning face very soon. Possibly SummerSlam.
I don't think he's going to turn face for a while. Maybe closer to Survivor Series. But I see Cena retaining, so that way we get probably Cena versus Cody at SummerSlam. All right. I think that's pretty much everything I want to talk about. Anything you?
Not. Oh, are you gonna sue Doug Ford? Because like he's starting his own rant thing now, and I thought that was your thing. That's why I told this man.
Well, I don't have
trademark.
Well, you can't trademark a rant. People are gonna rant about all kinds of things.
Oh, anyways, as soon as I seen that, I messaged this guy. I'm like, "Are you gonna sue Doug Ford?"
I don't even have the money for it anyway.
Now, no. Now, here's how you get them. You film a champ rant on Doug Ford's rant, and you tag him, and you send it to him.
Like, stop stealing my thing.
And then, like, you and him can do rants fucking, like, together. Because you both, like, align with a lot of the same things, so.
Stop stealing my stuff. Stop stealing my bit.
But anyways, that's my rant. B. Scott's rants.
I would sue him, but I don't have the money for it.
I know. That's why you should tag him and do a rant. A rant on Doug Ford's rant. Anyways, folks, we're almost at our destination. We'll see you when we see you.
Yeah, take it easy.